Yes, and welcome to Vasilis Garden, folks. We're back at our potting mix trial test here, and we're going to get an update on it. And for those who don't know what's going on here, we've got a variety of bags. We've got the Scott's range, we've got a Yates Seasol, my range, Vasilis Garden Basics also, and the Rich Grow in the end there. So Scott's has got a huge array of potting mix, ranging from native to tomato, vegetable, organic. Tomato, vegetable, that's right, I've gone through this before. One's organic and one's non-organic. And there's also the Rose Gardenia. Now, again, if you haven't seen these videos, the native and the Rose Gardenia, just my little fun trial that I'm doing. And in fact, for those who said you shouldn't be testing the native because it's not about seedlings, it's actually doing better than most of the others, besides one that we lost right at the beginning. And that could have been for all sorts of reasons. But anyway, back on the other topic, which is what I'm here for. Progress, they're all pretty slow. We've had a lot of frosty nights. Next to that, we've had a few more comments coming through. I think there was one on YouTube who was saying, and even previously people saying it's going to be skewed, the test that you're doing, because each bag has a different colour on it, and it's going to absorb and reflect light accordingly to the colour of the bag. Yeah, you know, I understand that whole concept, but if you come out here in this microclimate, this little 40 GSM plastic with a little bit of blue or white or yellow or black on is going to do very little to the amount of heat that gets absorbed or reflected, especially on the high windy days. So plastic is plastic. It'll always create a covering and some heat in there, if not a lot of heat, depending on the day. Sure, the black one can probably absorb more heat than a white bag, which is, well, sort of a cream bag next to it. But for the benefit of the doubt, I've decided to do some thermometer testing, sort of temperature testing, and I've done that about 10-15 minutes ago. Taken the liberty to measure every bag, starting from this corner here with the Seasol. This is about 15 minutes ago, and it was at 11-12 degrees. Then we got to the Scott's one, which is the premium potting mix, the performance, whatever that says, natural. That was 11-12 degrees. Vasilis one was at 11-12 degrees. The Garden Basics, which is meant to reflect heat, got up to 13-14 degrees. The other Garden Basics all-purpose was 11-12. The tomato and veggie got to 12-13. And the Rich Grow, the black one, which should have absorbed a hell of a lot of heat, that was 11-12 degrees. So we go up to the Scott's Osmocote Premium. That was 11-12. Then the Rose Gardenia was 11. The tomato, the Scott's tomato, was at 11. The organic tomato vegetable was 11-12 degrees. And then the Organic Plus Premium was at 10-11 degrees. The native was 10-11, and the Yates 11-12. So they're all pretty much 1 or 2 degrees maximum difference. Now, as I'm standing here, folks, the temperature's dropping outside, so I dare say these are going to drop in temperature. So let's just test one here now and see what we get. This is the Garden Basics Premium Potting Mix, which was reading at 13-14 degrees. And at the moment, the temperature is just above 10. So it's dropped a couple of degrees, if not 3 degrees. So by the end of the evening, these will be down to 1 degrees again and overnight. So realistically, folks, the plastic bags here during the evenings serve no real purpose as a hothouse. It's going to make no difference to the temperature because they're all going to drop equally, pretty much equally, 1 or 2 maximum degrees difference. But again, during the daytime, because when we took this reading, the sun was just on top of the conifers, and we were only getting a bit of dappled light on the Osmocote Premium and a little bit on the Rich Grow. Not a lot to say that was keeping the temperature high enough on that, but by now it's already dropped to 2 or 3 degrees. So by tonight they're going to go to 0, I reckon. So for those who are still thinking that the plastic bag is still going to affect them during the heat of the day, we're going to come back and we're going to get another 2 or 3 thermometers like this and do equal testings at the same time, so the time difference is 0. So when we test a black bag with a white or light colour bag, we'll see what the temperature difference is. If it is tremendously different, like 5 degrees or more, well, then we're going to say that the results are going to be skewed. But if the temperature is almost identical, 1 or 2 degrees, I dare say that's going to make very little difference to the quality and the ability for these plants to grow, because at the end of the day, it's not just the temperature that we're worried about here, it's the quality of the mix. Keep that in mind. That's more important, because we'll do the test in the plastic bags. I'm more concerned what's going into these potting mixes and how our plants are performing. So quickly have a recap of what's going on here. Scott's just started to kick into gear. Before it looked like it was going backwards. Rich Grow's holding its well. The tomato and veg. Now, I know others have done trials and said the other stuff, all these bags were really bad. This has just come to life. You can see a bit of darkness in there. The pak choi's kicked on as well. The all-purpose one, I dare say it's not going to do too well. That looks like it's not going to make it. Anyway, we'll just see. Even the premium one, it's just starting to kick in. You can see a little bit of growth coming in the middle. The silver beetle hasn't really taken off, and that's a little bit, still a little bit slow. Even my one, we spoke about the tinging on the outside from the high winds. We copped that, but we've got a lot of green coming in the middle. That's sitting upright, and that's holding its ground. Whereas the Scott's Performance Premium Naturals, whatever you want to call it, it's really looking like crap, to be honest with you. It's sort of coming together, but not really. I mean, the sea salt, yeah, it's just sort of woken up, and this is telling me that the roots have just connected to the potty mix, whatever's in there. Whereas the Yates Premium and the Scott's Native Mix, both those two bags had the largest of seedlings planted in them. So, well, for example, we've got 2 pak chois growing on in here, not one, there are 2 there, so that's why it looks so large. But the native, where everybody thought, well, I shouldn't be judging it. Well, I told you earlier, I think I did. If I haven't, I'm telling you now. Well, the seedlings have taken off pretty well in considering it's a native potting mix. That's a hilarious one. Okay, so we've got the Organics Plus, and that's, I reckon that's average. I reckon it's doing 50-50 there. That one, okay, I'd give that about a rating of 65-70%. This has gone backwards. It's a tomato vegetable herb. Now, vegetables, it says vegetables, so it should be for vegetables, and it's not doing too good. So I don't know if you want to use it for your veggies. The Rose Camellia, well, we didn't expect it to take off because it's high in acidity. Now, I don't know what sort of acid they've put into that, but I dare say it's not going to be natural because it's got all those funny colourful labels on there as well. And this one's average as well. So my money's on obviously Rich Grow, my one, the Yates, and probably the Sea Sol. And if you want to try your luck with the native, that's how we're going so far, folks. But early days still, because the weather's been pretty average. In the end, folks, I think most of them are going to be pretty similar. Some will take off a little bit quicker than others, and we'll see that in the results as we go through it all. And because we're not giving them the stress with the water, lack of water. So we're watering each one as it needs it. And despite that, I am taking a reading on how much water I'm giving each one. And at the end, my one's had the least amount of water out of all of them. And that's because of our blend that we have in it. So it retains a lot more moisture and hasn't got water crystals in it either, folks. But what's really going to show the difference is at the end, is doing a Brix test, and we're going to do a Brix test when these fully mature to see what the nutritional density and value, nutrient value and minerals, which is a Brix test basically, in the plant. And we're going to see what sort of levels they reach, and we hope to get some good readings, at least from our one. And if like the Rich Grow and the Yates one, I suppose, if they're all natural, but if there aren't any natural stuff in it, they're not going to give us a high rating. Because at the end of the day, they all look good. But what's in them is going to make the difference between the quality of vegetables you grow and eat. Because a lot of things look good, as they do on a supermarket shelf, but what's in them is a completely different thing, and it's not something your body really needs. So sit back and watch this little space here, and we'll be back soon to do a, during the heat of the day, temperature reading to see how different they are based on the colour of the bags as well. If you're looking for planting mix and it's time to sow your seeds, get onto our website, vasili'sgarden.com, and our seeds, as I said yesterday's video, they're down to $2 a packet, even cheaper when you buy multiple packets. So take advantage of it, get your planting mix and your compost, because it's one of the best composts you'll ever find, in a bag that is. So get some of that into your garden and watch your veggies grow and keep it natural, keep it clean. From me, Vasili, Maresi.